Well, Santa has been very generous to the crew of Witness this year, and we have boat parts. When we showed up here at the Marino that we'll be staying at over Christmas, we had 16 boxes waiting for us. Some of the gifts for the family behind us, but some were also boat parts. So unfortunately, Santa hasn't shown up for the installation of these boat parts, but I get to do that, which is part of the fun, actually. So first off, we've got vacuum gauges for our Racor filters, our diesel filters. We already have gauges, but they lack this drag needle. Drag needle allows you to know the vacuum pressure, the maximum pressure differential across your filter while you are underway. So you reset it when you do your engine checks each day, and then you'll know what the maximum pressure was, or vacuum was. So you know if your filter is starting to plug, and this is something that unless you have this, you're forced to just go down there at RPM while underway to look at the vacuum gauge. Otherwise, when you turn the engine off, you go down there, you look, no vacuum. So this allows it to kind of record what the maximum pressure difference was across the filter, and so you know when your filter is plugging and needs to be changed. So should be an easy installation with this T-handle. I'm going to go ahead and replace the Racors while I'm at it. Here we go, replacing our old vacuum gauge with the new one with the drag needle. Also, we get the T-handle, so you don't have to use a wrench to change the Racor if you had to, like while you're underway in an emergency. Definitely time for a change. Also replacing this cap O-ring, and top it off with clean diesel. Now the cap goes back on. And our new gauge. One down, one to go. Oh Santa, we must have been on the nice list this year. We got oil change parts, primary and secondary filters for both engines, and a whole bunch of oil. Merry Christmas. Step one, let's warm this thing up. All right, we got our oil warmed up now. Out with the old into these empty jugs. Thankfully, we have an oil change pump on Witness, and so we just flip the switch and pump it right out. Easy peasy. Boy, I love that oil change pump. Huge upgrade. Next up, removing the old filters. So we have a primary and a bypass. These both have to come out, and they can both make a gigantic mess of the bilge. There's a rib that goes right underneath there, so you can't really put a catch pan on there. So I've got some grocery bags, and I put some mats, absorbent mats inside there, and take them off and hopefully catch the drips. I've chosen to use genuine Volvo filters. It's a little more expensive, but we really rely on these engines, and I don't know if there's a difference with the store brand. So
Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. Picking out the leaves on the crooked Christmas trees. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me. That's Christmas to me.
with the new filters installed, it's time to fill up. So you can pour it in, the fill on the top of the engine, or you can use the oil change pump to fill. Now this has a higher viscosity because it's cold, and so it may be easier sometimes and quicker to just pour it in. But we're using a 5-gallon bucket today of oil, and so hard to get the space to dump it directly in the top of the engine. So we're gonna pump it in. Here's the other way I do it, 2.5-gallon jug, and tip it up here, poke some holes, and just keep an eye on it. Next up is our transmission oil changes. I have a special separate independent pump for that. It's because the transmission oil is very clean, and so I don't want to contaminate oil samples that we pull every oil change for lab analysis with that dirty diesel pump. So this is our clean transmission oil pump. Well, the next thing Santa brought today is new blowers for the engine room. We have 4 blowers that supply fresh air to the engine room and keep fumes out of the bilge, and one failed, so I ordered it, and shortly thereafter a second one failed that looks to be the exact same vintage. So I guess they reached their maximum hours and just gave up the ghost. So an easy repair and replace on this as well. Let's get to it.
Santa's little helper. Santa's little helper. We're Santa's little helpers. We make the wheels go round. Day and night, night and day, here in Christmas Town. We're Santa's little helpers, and it's us you wanna know. If you want a date under the mistletoe. We're Santa's little helpers, and we make all the toys, the trinkets for the girls and the trucks for the boys. We're Santa's little helpers, and we know every trick, 'cause we wrote the book on old Saint Nick. It's a foggy Christmas night.
Well, we must have been extra good this year because Santa brought us something very special. A little backstory though. On Witness, we have, when we bought the boat, it did not have an anchor bridle and hadn't done a ton of anchoring. So we've upgraded the ground tackle. and added an anchor bridle. I made it myself. I'm kind of a cheapskate. That kind of comes with the on fire territory. And the splices were easy enough. Everything was just fine. It was like under 50 bucks, whereas the commercial one is like 400. No problem. And I made it with a stainless steel chain hook. So this hooks onto the chain and connects the bridle to the anchor chain. And this works great, except in no current, no wind, and the weight of this will slip out of the chain. And so I went through several different iterations of trying to fix that problem with these Velcro straps. It seemed like, what you could do is get the chain in there and then Velcro strap like so. And maybe when you have the shackle on here, that wouldn't ride up. That didn't work. I lost several of these and the chain still kind of came out of the hook. I found a galvanized hook that seems to have a little different shape to it. So it's a little more curvy here. And I took a file and I filed a groove here and on the back side of it. And I had tried on this one a bungee cord or a hair tie. We have girls aboard and they have hair ties all the time. And so actually that kind of worked a little bit. And so I thought in this one, what I would do is I would beef it up to be a stronger bungee material. And this actually kind of worked. It fell off once though, and I wasn't super pleased. But as we all know, there's a solution out there. I've just been too cheap to pursue it. But Santa brought me the Mantus anchor hook. I'm excited to try this out. It has a very robust strap, well-engineered shape to grab onto our anchor chain. And this is gonna really hold it in place. And I can't wait to try it. It's really gonna improve our anchoring game. And for what this costs, if it saves us one night in a marina, it's gonna be well worth it. The peace of mind sleeping on anchor, really looking forward to giving this a shot. Merry Christmas! Well, Merry Christmas from On Fire family.